Alright, hello and welcome back to Ashgabat Cat. So let's play that. Today we're taking a look at yet another Sega vertically scrolling shoot 'em up. Now it's funny because Sonic Boom, Scramble Spirits, they both have the shoot 'em up icon, but Game Ground does not. Even though, I mean, it's not like a normal shoot 'em up, but it kind of is. Oh. Also, for whatever reason, this one lets you set the background music as the background, which is interesting because, I mean, Game Ground is a cool game, but it's not necessarily the coolest of games. I wouldn't have expected that. An epic war that straddles time. Nice. Alright. Game Ground. It also has a vertical setup. And also, if you notice, just like Scramble Fight, it is super high resolution, which is nice because these sprites can be pretty small. I can only imagine in its true setting on a vertically oriented monitor, this was absolutely amazing. On the downside, on my horizontally oriented monitor, it is not so bad, not so bad. A little bit of wasted space, but that's okay. It's nice to be reminded what we're playing, and that is the Astro City. What the heck? Oh, okay. So before you can get playing, you have to choose your character. So the joke behind this game is, well, okay. The different characters have different power-ups and abilities. Now, I think you're underestimating me when I say that. That's not to say that each character has, different attack, and it's like, oh, okay, this guy does a little bit more damage, and this guy moves a little faster. No. Each character is fundamentally different from every other character. Like this guy, he throws a spear. The last guy had a gun. It's weird. It's weird. Now, unfortunately, I'm only familiar with the Genesis version. And so, now that we're in to this, what the heck? It looked like this dude had a sword, but no, I guess he had a gun, like all the best characters do. Now, I'm only familiar with the Genesis version, which is pretty fun on its own, don't get me wrong, but this version is the real deal Jonathan McSteel, and so, well, I'm expecting a little more from it. On one hand, the gameplay is a little plotting and a little puzzly, but it's not like the Genesis version wasn't. And so, okay, you get two choices, I remember. You can either kill the bosses, or you can escape with all of your characters individually. Now, I like having a lot of characters, so I do not want to have to go... Well, that's cool too. I like it though. This guy's special power is gun. It's not a bad power to have, honestly. I believe there was some sort of plot where it's like, oh, do I not get the person? Well, in my haste, I forgot to collect the other guy, and here we are. Oh, okay, yeah, that's right. Each character has special abilities too, and this guy's special ability is shoot forward. Now, I thought that was a jape and a bit of joke at your expense in the past. It's like, what's the point of shooting forward? What's the point of always having a shot oriented the way in which you want to go? Well, if Ninja Princess... What is this a joke? What? What are you supposed to do? And also, yeah, this guy, his special power is he can throw spears. Okay. Now, I'm gonna... Yeah. Well, it looks like I can go in and grab my lost character, but how good are you at taking care of these guys here? Negative. Well, I see. All right, I guess we just gun it. I mean, gunning it does not work if you're slow as molasses. All right, let's see. So I assume you get your 3 starting characters back if you continue, I hope. And so you can see that even though this guy doesn't have a gun, and instead he only throws spears, there are certain scenarios in which he might be useful. There seem to be scenarios where he's not useful at all. Nice. No. Oh man. Some difficulty required. Wow. And alright, I guess you just straight up have to save everybody. There's no boss, there's no nothing. You just have to fight your way to the exit. Sega game design at their finest. I mean, it's not a bad game, but it is a thoroughly baffling game. I'll give them that. It's also incredibly weird how, like, it's set up where, well, okay, most games, they test your reflexes, things move fast, there's a lot of colors and whatever. That's fine. But this game, it's, like, almost about thinking, which is interesting. But what's also interesting is, like, fundamentally, it's still a side-scrolling platformer? No. Action scrolling? It's like a run and gun. So, like, there's not a ton of thinking you have to do. I mean, on occasion, you have to ask yourself, do I want to, who do I want? What character? Let's see. The game implied that if you hold E, then you can change your character, but I'm holding E, and it is not happening. Maybe if you go back to the bottom of the screen, you can, like, select your character again? Oh, okay, there is a time limit. Because, like, I was kind of wondering, a game like this, it's like, no, you pretty much need a time limit, otherwise you can just mess around forever. I don't know if this game is deep or dumb, but it's definitely something. Well, I've pretty much thrown all my eggs in this basket, so that means if this doesn't pan out, then this is not great. Okay. Easy peasy. Alright. Now you look out. What? Look out for what? Oh no. Oh, and that's unfortunate because he's my most offensively oriented. That's unfortunate because she was a character with a gun. Time for the spear guy. The spear guy will never lead you astray. His shots will be led astray all the time. That's kind of his deal. But he himself will always strike true to your heart. And we're done. Who would design an arcade game like this? I don't know. And the weirdest thing is, like, this is basically a home console game. Like, this is the kind of game that just would work so much better on a home console, and yet Sega did not, in fact, really make it for the home console. I mean, it, like, there was a Genesis port, but, like, that game was not quite how I would expect this to go. Because, I mean, this game is great, but it's also very clearly an arcade game in its current form. So the Genesis version, if I recall correctly, was basically just an arcade port. Which, I mean, that's nice, that's good, but I feel like that's not the form in which this could have truly shined. I feel like if you remade it to some other such, like, game, you changed around the aspect ratio too, because not everybody has a vertically oriented monitor that they're using, and played around with it a bit, and you could have had, like, a pretty great game. It's also really, well, I also wish you could change characters. I mean, can you? Alright, let's double check that. So, I am going to be making a save state, but this is solely for the purpose of knowledge, so it is fine. Let's see, gain ground, conquer a runaway system with 20 command characters. 20 characters, jeez. Oh, choose character with E, but of course, once you choose one, you're stuck with it. I mean, again, action should have consequences, I say, as a load a save state. Well, I guess we just got it. take our lumps. I also like how this main guy, it's like, yeah, he's the best at offense, but also, I mean, and yes, he has a gun, but like, it's a musket. It's not even like anything terribly special. And yet, I guess that's all it takes to win in these sort of ancient times. I don't know what it is about this game, but like, it kind of vaguely reminds me of like Megalovania or something. No, that's the song from Undertale. Wasn't there a game by Codemasters or something actually also released on the Genesis that was like Megalomania or something? And it was like this weird sort of real-time strategy game? Am I remembering that right? But, well, that one had like the same sort of like temporal theme where you're like going through time and collecting stuff. I guess that's kind of what's resonating here. But, well, yeah. I guess that's kind of interesting. It's like a weird combination of, they also had the other game where you're playing as the soldiers fighting in the war. And so it's like, okay, yeah, you just combine those two games. And it's like, I don't know why you would, but if you were to, what would you get? The best part is, it's like, I think this is just how you're supposed to play the game. Like, there's no real alternative. There's no real trick. Hey, there's a guy with a spear. Oh. Some of these guys have like some pretty sweet weapons. Like I remember one dude had like a rocket launcher or something, which okay. I guess we're going back to the big three. Like some of these guys have some pretty sweet weapons. Like one guy had a rocket launcher, other guys have other stuff, but it's like you're never going to get to use them because you're just going to die too quick. Maybe they did touch up the Genesis version a little bit and like make it a little bit more fair or something, because this, I don't know, like you look at this little death murder trap and like you are not going to make it in there in a million years. Okay, maybe if we just run for it, but like even then I'm not really convinced that this is going to work out. Yeah, and I paused to hit him, and I could have gotten away with it too, but I guess you just have to run for it. Abandon all reason. Not only do you have to run for it, but you have to be going in the right place. Although I also wonder, maybe just the spear guy is just fast enough that you can actually do this. Oh, so that means... well, I guess we're going to find out who's fast and who's not. Sadly, you are not fast. And how about you? How fast are you? I already know the answer. Come on. On the bright side. They have a weakness. And that fatal weakness is the next stage is not easy. I mean, I just saw this. It's like, what? If that was like, okay. I just saw that stage. If that wasn't hard, then I don't want to know what is hard. Really? This isn't easy? Are you kidding me? So, walking into a death pit all by yourself that is like completely filled with enemies. No way around it. And that is considered not easy. Or it's considered easy. It's considered not easy. Sorry, this is a little confusing. But then having to like run and strafe is considered hard? Like, what? I'm beginning to seriously question the skill sets of like any of the designers of this game. Did they think they were just making like a really hard game like this? They're just like, okay, we'll make a game where you have to think. And it's like, yes, you do have to think, but you can also sort of trivialize it just by dying and refreshing your choice of characters. I mean, yeah, sure, if I was trying to one credit clear this, we would be having a completely different day here and completely different conversation. But as it is, we are... all right. Oh, that's right. That's why I didn't just choose the musket guy. he has a bad case of the dead. That being said, one gun is about as good as any other. Okay. It's time now. Yeah, now the question is, do we bother rescuing her? No, because we already have her. Although I think you can get two. Well, I don't know why I even bother thinking about it. And also, too, it's not like the game gives me much thought about this. Wow. That is... it's funny because his attack doesn't, like, move that quickly, but at the same time, it's, like, just fast enough that, like... Well, his attack doesn't move that quickly, but neither do your characters. So it's also not exactly going to work out well. I'm going to be honest, I remember liking the Genesis version a fair bit more than this port. But, or this version, but, I mean, it's fine. Interesting, so I wonder if you even can defeat him, or if this is just some sort of joke. Well, I've got, what, 2 characters left? Oh, although this guy can just snipe him from a distance, so if you can hurt him... Nope. Fireballs have more range than your gun. I don't even know if that's fair or not. I've stopped trying to evaluate this game on those terms. Now you look out. What is this game trying to tell me? Also, I just realized, it's like, hey, wait a minute, we're playing, like, the Japanese ROM, right? And so, well, again, there was no English ROM. So, like, why is there that gratuitous English in there? Is it just to mess with the Japanese players? It's like, yes, I'm going to give you advice and tips and tricks on how to beat and play the game, but also, I'm going to give it to you in English, so you'll never know. And it's like, Sega, why would you do such a thing? And Sega never explained. Okay. I don't know. Something about this game is just... It just does not feel terribly fair. Like, they give you these characters, but, like... I don't know. It just does not feel like they expect you to win in this game. They just kind of give you some characters, and they're like, oh yeah, don't worry, it'll be a fun adventure. The characters have different strengths or whatever. They have different weapons or whatever. And then it's just... They ambush you and trap you with, like, the hardest stuff known to man. What, stage 1-9? All of that was just stage 1? You mean there's more? There's, like, potentially cool futuristic cyberpunk levels I could be playing? Look at that static. I mean, you can't because it's YouTube. Oh. Well, actually, I think this static will come in just fine because it's just the same picture. But yeah, you see that one guy is like a flamethrower. Now, I don't remember having the guy with the flamethrower on this stage. Also, I think the ninja guy has like an entire whirlwind floating around him. That sounds pretty great until you realize, like, there's no way you're going to get those guys. Now, maybe I was playing wrong and maybe I wasn't collecting these people enough. Like, maybe the trick is just solely go for the exit. And it's like, oh, you got 15 guys in your party? It's like, well, it better get cracking. Gotta save them all. But, yeah, well, again, it's not like a bad game. Like, there's a cool concept here, but, I mean, you don't want to withhold so much cool stuff from the player. Oh, I guess this would make a lot more sense, too, as a 2-player game, because the one of you could choose the gun guy, one of you could choose the spear guy, and between those two, then you're pretty much ready for any scenario. But, like, this game is kind of infuriating, because, like, great gainers, I just noticed that. But, like, there's a lot of cool stuff in this game. Like, you've got a lot of cool other characters that you can get. And again, like, when a character dies, like, you lose them. So it's not like you can't just give them out a little more freely. Look at the guy. The guy has a bow. Like, where are you supposed to be getting all of these characters? I don't understand. Yeah, I wish the game just gave you more characters more freely. The movement is it's infuriating, but then the enemy's movement is also slow. So it's like that's something you can kind of negotiate for. But like, I don't know, I just kind of wish this game gave you a little more, a little faster, and it wasn't quite so infuriating to get everything. Because like, if you want to actually unlock a new character, you have to grab them and go to the exit sign. But like, if you don't, then all of a sudden, then their character is replaced with your character, like almost always one of the starting guys that you don't really care about. And then it's like, gosh dang, look at this guy. He's got a gun, he's got a mace, he's like surrounded by fire. This is amazing. And he's distracting me from the other guy who's like basically RoboCop just shooting rockets. And it's like, you're telling me that I could have been playing through this entire game as those people? And then the game is like, well, yes, but actually no, because we're not going to give you anything good. Gain ground. Well, I don't know. Maybe I should travel back to the past and tell them how to make a video game properly. So on that note, this cat's got a scat.